What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got a nice Phantasm duel for you guys to check out, and this one really showcases the power of Heat Wave, why this card is so good against almost every single deck in the meta, outside of, I guess, maybe meta foes, and why it's actually been a card that I've been talking about on my channel the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about it in my market watches, why the card has been going up, I guess, double and triple the price. It's because it's so good against the meta just across the board, even against a deck as powerful as the True Draco Zodiac, which, I mean, this deck did win YCS Pittsburgh, so it can't be any lower than top 2, top 3 decks in the game, but it doesn't matter. When you activate the Heat Wave, your opponent is basically at your mercy. They will not be able to normal summon, tribute summon, special summon any effect monsters, and you don't have to worry about that because Phantasms don't play effect monsters, so you can basically do whatever you want. Once you crack their board, it is just basically like they won't be able to summon during their next turn, and you can just easily capitalize. You can still summon your Phantasm Spiral Dragons from your deck. You have these huge beaters, and it kind of just snowballs the game out of control. So let's go ahead and roll this, and I believe that the True Draco Zoo player does kind of, like, I don't think that he plays this right. He uses he uses the barrage to get a Thorough Blade, which I guess is okay, but I don't know, like, I think he just kind of wanted to commit his normal summon to, one of the True Dracos, but maybe I feel like he should have just made a big zoo board, but I guess that's just my opinion. Maybe he could have attributed the freaking, what's it called, the freaking Zodiac Barrage, but probably trying to save that for next turn. What do you guys think? Was this a good play? I mean, yeah, he does get 2 copies of Whiptail. He gets a Trident, which is nice, and the Dynamite does give him another card. He gives him another Zodiac, trap potentially, or excuse me, not a Zodiac trap, but a True Draco trap. So it's not the worst board, especially considering he gets to keep his barrage, but I don't know, man. I feel like it's a little susceptible to things like Dark Hole and whatnot. So anyways, he's going to activate Heat Wave. This basically is going to lock this guy from being able to summon anything during his next turn. Then he activates Pacifist, and he's going to chain Dynamite. He's going to get himself his plus, but he's going to follow that up with the Phantasm Spiral Power. Now, I have to admit, this was a misplay on both players' sides. Phantasm Spiral Power actually it's basically a Fiendish Chain that takes 1,000 attack away from an opponent's monster. If you use it on a zoo, obviously, their attack goes to 0 because they have no effects to basically hold those stats. The thing is, the zoo player could have responded with the Trident to pop, I don't know, like he could have popped the Pacifist or something. He should have actually used this during the damage step where he would not have been able to respond. So, and who knows, maybe he would have used one of the Whiptails in his hand when he attacks. He could have gotten even more value, but he should have used this during the damage step because this card can actually be activated from the hand. That's the great thing about the Phantasm archetype, is you can use your traps from your hand. So even though he only has a 200 attack monster, RIP to Trident, and he's going to draw, and I believe he's just going to pass. And if you're wondering why he doesn't summon anything, why he doesn't use the effect of Barrage, it's because he can't. He can't summon any effect monsters, so he basically has to do nothing. Now, he could have attacked. The problem is he obviously has a back row that he might be afraid of because this deck can play battle traps, and he has another card in his hand, and since you can activate traps from your hand with this deck, like, you never know what your opponent has there, so he's just playing it safe, and that's actually going to be his downfall. He activates another Heat Wave, so no more monster summons during your next turn. And here's the crazy thing, right? Here's the sick thing. So since he activated his Phantasm Spiral Rave, which it basically makes it so this Dragoons cannot die the first time it would die in battle, which is important because it only has 200 attack, his opponent chained the Dynamite's effect. Now, the thing is, since he doesn't have any tokens on the field, the Pacifist is going to actually get 2 chain links, and it's going to give him a token for each effect, for the Phantasm Spiral Wave and for the Dynamite. So he's actually, like, he got a card out of it, which is fine, but he actually ends up giving him 2 tokens, and since he did actually get the a token was summoned, he obviously gets to search, and he gets himself one of the traps. This one basically gets a card off your opponent's side of the field, and you can activate it from your hand as well. So at this point, he basically has cleared his field, and he's just going to attack. Now, keep in mind, again, guys, he cannot actually summon anything, so I believe he's just going to pass and do nothing. He can set monsters, but he can't really play like Yu-Gi-Oh, and he top decks another trap, which he's going to activate immediately so that he can get the damage in. And every time that this Dragoons attacks, he gets himself a Phantasm Dragon, which is big, and now he's basically going to lock him out for a 3rd straight turn of being able to summon effect monsters. He actually activates the Tyrant Throws, which is, it's basically a continuous version of of Heat Wave, it just, you have to tribute two normal monsters. But a lot of people play this in Phantasms, and now he can't do anything. And I feel sad for the Zodiac guy, because it's literally been 3 turns of him not being able to summon monsters, and at this point obviously he's just gonna lose. It didn't matter that he tributed the Phantasm Spiral Dragon. If he would have attacked, he just would have been able to get another one back. He just would have been able, or he could have just summoned this one back from the graveyard. So there was almost no way that he would have actually been able to win, unless he had, like, I don't know, a dark hole or something like that. But it was very unfortunate. And even if he would have been able to summon a monster, he could activate this trap from his hand. This was another copy of that Fiendish Chain that also takes 1,000 away. So this is just kind of showcasing how Heat Wave can actually be very powerful in this match. You have to obviously be able to, I guess, capitalize off of it, and you have to be able to keep the momentum up. But you can see here, you can lock a Zodiac player out or a True Draco player 2-3 turns in a row, and at that point they basically just lose. So let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching as always.